Hey, you guys. Oh, it's live over there too. Awesome. How does it get any better than that? Hello. Happy V-Day or whatever, different strokes for different folks. For me, this day is just intertwined and amazingly connected with my husband's birthday, my sister-in-law's birthday. They're twins. And also one of my best friend's birthdays as well is today. So it's kind of a birthday package deal, and having it be just the day of love and the day you give chocolates and roses and whatever else people have begun to believe about Valentine's Day, just kind of no. So I want to just look at a little something. And first of all, I'd like to honor you with a little explanation. I've been under the weather for the last few days, like massively under the weather. And besides, being nasal and drippy nose and all that stuff, I didn't have much of a voice to speak, especially after I'd get off the phone with my kids, where we would speak for a while, probably more than my voice actually desired. So I've been here with you guys energetically, if not physically. And thank you for sticking around. And how does it get even better than that? Oh, by the way, how you like my t-shirt? Nestle, my daughter, drew this like a long time ago, I think. She was probably in 6th grade or 7th grade or something like that. But we put it on the t-shirt and we went, this girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. And just had fun with it. But I don't think she has one of these. I do, and I like it. So there you go. How it get any better than that? And it's easier to cook in a t-shirt. I'm about to make a cheesecake. I'm not much of a cook. I'm much better at takeout. But we're going to make some dairy things for my husband's birthday. We're going to play with making a cheesecake. And I had to find a recipe that didn't call for farmer's cheese, which I can get in the States, but I can't really get in Guatemala. And without sour cream, which, again, we can get in the States, but we can't get in Guatemala. So we're going to play with a King's Arthur. You can look it up if you feel like it. I looked up easy cheesecake recipe, like simple, like how much ease can you have creating? So we got graham crackers. We're gonna make the whole graham cracker crust thing, and just playing with having a raspberry topping, and I'll post a photo afterwards, because it's gonna be pretty. It's just gonna be small because it's just the two of us, and we don't necessarily want to have a really large cheesecake. But the King Arthur, I think it's called King Arthur, like the King Arthur flour, but they also make King Arthur vanilla extract and whatnot. They have a recipe that seems to have lots of 2 thumbs up from people around the world. And I'm going to play with it, invite you to play with it too, if you feel like it. Anyway, back to V-Day, aka Valentine's Day, aka the day that so many people beat themselves up because they feel like if they do not have validation from the outside about themselves, somehow they're missing something. Somehow they don't have a sense of the value of themselves. And this is something really, really interesting to me. The first time I'd ever heard of Valentine's Day, I was in elementary school, late elementary school. We'd moved to the United States. Valentine's Day, per se, as it is the day of love, it did not exist when I was growing up in Israel. At least that wasn't a thing that we did in my part of the world over there. So it wasn't something that we were accustomed to. And there we moved to the United States, where everything is this push on how many Valentine's cards did you receive? Who actually validated you for who you be? Who's going to be asking you to be their Valentine? How many little cards? You've seen those little packets in the grocery stores in the United States. Will you be my Valentine? And the thing is that when they're given to everybody, then everybody sort of felt included. When they're given to only specific people, there's this like, I only only got one, or I hardly got any. And it's such an interesting dynamic where we put our sense of value, where we put our sense of self lower according to what somebody in the outside world has said we are worthy, or we are, we base our self-worth on what somebody else says. But what somebody else says is really about them. It doesn't necessarily say anything about us. It's their way of experiencing the world, their way of seeing the world. And it doesn't have anything to do with our inherent value. So this concept of intimacy, I'm going to delve into a tiny bit, and perhaps for the next few musings and contributions, we'll delve deeper into intimacy. But intimacy, according to Gary Douglas and Access Consciousness, consists of 5 different elements. And the elements of intimacy do not include having sex or copulation or a relationship with someone. Having intimacy includes having gratitude for yourself primarily. Starting with yourself. With any of these elements, you begin with yourself. Everything else is secondary. But intimacy includes gratitude. It includes honor, treating with regard, with respect. It includes allowance, and allowances where everything is an interesting point of view. And over the next couple of weeks, once I get some travels out of the way, I'll be delving into the Gift of Allowance book because it is brilliant. It is phenomenal beyond words, and it invites us to embrace that one of those elements of intimacy, allowance, and gives us a totally different perspective on the world. So we've got, what did we say? Gratitude and honor and allowance and trust and vulnerability. Okay? Vulnerability is definitely something. I mean, go watch Brene Brown on Netflix or listen to her TED Talk, etc. It's quite a superpower. It's living undefended. It's not having to make excuses for who you are or pretending to be anything different. You could just walk through the world being yourself. It's a very different way of being. You know how when you begin a relationship with someone and you really want to hold on to that person and you really want to have it, you want to hold on to it, right? So you end up choking it off. But in order to please the other person, you begin going into their heads and you begin second guessing. Oh, he doesn't like it when I do this, therefore I'm going to cut that part of myself off. Oh, I think he would like someone who has a better body, somebody who has a better sense of humor, somebody who has a whatever. And then we end up contorting ourselves. We end up squeezing ourselves. We're not being this girl is on fire. We're being this girl is trying to fold, staple, mutilate, contort herself in order to be pleasing to somebody else. Okay. And we lose ourselves in the process. And the really funky thing is that when we lose ourselves in the process, we're losing intimacy with ourselves. And we're not enjoying, really, even being us to be with someone else also. So intimacy, I love the word itself, into me see. Into me see. When I'm willing to have those 5 elements, the gratitude, the honor, the allowance, the vulnerability, and there was something else. And did I say honor? Yeah, vulnerability, gratitude, honor, allowance, and trust. When I have all of those with myself, primarily myself, first with myself, my cup runneth over, you could say. My willingness to be present with all of that, to be present with myself, to be undefended, to not have to prove anything, to be relaxed and at ease with myself, to celebrate myself, to have gratitude for myself. Yes, of course I fuck up. We all do. That's part of life and living. Part of having a human experience is sometimes screwing up. Oops, I forgot to say, these tools are from Access Consciousness. If you're on the other thingy, my banner just clicked off. Sorry. Anyway, the idea is, the invitation is to embrace the energy of who you be. 1 second, let me just because I hear the doggy coming. 5 minutos. Sorry, it's going to have to be wrapped up quickly because I have to go get the dog. And there's workers in the front, so can't let her loose and run in. Anyway, just wanted to say that when we have those elements of intimacy with us, there is a presence that we be in the world. There is an invitation that we be in the world. And even more so than that, there is a directive to the universe and to everyone and everything out there to function, to treat us, to be a different way. We take ourselves out of being desperados, and in having that, in embracing that ourselves, there's a relaxation in our life and living and being and choosing that doesn't exist when we don't have those elements of intimacy with us. So I apologize that the doorbell rang and I have to dash. I won't go live again today, but I will be back tomorrow. And during this next few days, I'd like to explore the elements of intimacy individually. And not only that, how we can have that sense of presence and of ease with ourselves. And also, please let me know if you would like some of these musings and contributions in Spanish. I haven't done that for a very freaking long time. I'm happy to play. I'll give you my gringa ass Spanish anytime, just for shits and giggles and learning and playing and having fun. And I just enjoy being a contribution in any way that I can. So thank you, and happy day of having intimacy with you, into me seeing the gift that you be. I posted about it both in Instagram and in Facebook, so you can read a little blurb about that on my page. But just, yeah, I wonder how much of that intimacy you can begin to have with you today, and how does it get any better? So thank you. And I'm going to go make my cheesecake, and I will post a picture. Bye, guys.